Om Shri Sai Ram. Humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. I welcome you all to the third Samarpan talks organized by alumni in Singapore. As you all know, as a short introduction to Samarpan, Samarpan is a series of talks arranged by alumni and members of the organization to basically share their experiences with Swami, with one and all. And so in that respect today, I am honored to introduce Professor Bhagia. Professor Bhagia, as you all know, has been with the School of Business Management, Finance, Accounting since its founding in 1986. And I was myself a student from 1998 to 2003 when Swami used to call senior devotees like Professor Bhagia to talk in front of us, and he has shared a lot of his experiences. And I will not share much of it so that he will share some of it with you all now. And I do remember him telling how Swami helped his daughter and how he had a wonderful experience when he had gone to England and he was on the way to a meeting and Swami helped him reach there and all that. So we have heard that firsthand as students in Parthi. So, and it's a pleasure to welcome him to Singapore. Welcome, sir, and it's good to see you. And we wish to listen to you again, and it's an honor. And I without much ado, sir, I will welcome you to the stage and hand it over to you. And we are happy to listen to you.
Pranams at Bhagawan's lotus feet. Co-travelers on path of spirituality. So nice to meet you all here. I don't say that it's a dream. It's a dream as well as reality. Swami had already shown me in the dream many, many years back to such places, Swami's Mahima, just for me to know how nicely Swami is remembered here. Many of us, or rather all of us know Swami is God, but very few of us, we pay attention to what exactly God means. Swami is the source of everything. We may think just 5 feet 3 inch, even when physically he was available in Parthi. I used to have a question in my mind that Swamiji is here, but he says he is God. Then what happens to other countries? other places in India when he is continuously here in Puttaparthi. So, with these questions in my mind, he pulled me and put me on a path of sadhana, spiritual sadhana. After a lot of efforts, which I thought I am putting, more I was putting the efforts, more I felt that it's difficult to understand, rather impossible to understand Bhagawan. I came to understanding that he cannot be perceived through senses. He is formless, attributeless, but still he has brought the form for our case, for our mercy at us. It's very easy to make this statement, anybody can make, but when you walk on the path to find out what is God, what are we, then you come to know one small incident. I will start not any particular sequence, but topic-wise, or other whatever thought comes. Can we adjust? Is it my positioning of the mic not right, or is echoing? Is that all right, or is it recording properly? Because in Chennai we had a problem. They said yes. Afterwards, the devotees, many people, they said that we can't understand anything. So if somebody can see that it is all right, or you please guide me, then it will be nice. Is it coming back to me? That's it. Okay, yeah, that's better. You're right. So 1986 onwards, Swami gave me an opportunity. We can reduce the volume slightly. Or maybe this also. Thank you. It can be edited later on, no problem. So 1986 onwards, with his immense love and grace, he allowed me to be in Puttaparthi as I was introduced. Soon after joining there, Swami gave interview to teachers. Then he gave a little short discourse. After the discourse, he said, any spiritual questions? I said, Swamiji, I have a question. He said, what? Swamiji, I know that in this world, in this universe, nothing happens without your will. He said, carry on. What is your question? I said, Swamiji, now look. Like, as if I'm talking to a friend. Swamiji, look. This pen. I'm taking it out from my pocket. Kept it on your table. You tell me, who did it? You or me? You are God. We know you are God. You tell me now. I'm doing it. Then Swami smiled and he said, you are also God. I said, oh, yeah, pata liya mere ko. He did not give me the answer. But that was actually the ultimate answer. That he has been telling us that he is God. We are also God. He knows continuously, but we do not know. We have to find out who we are. Good. Like that, I will share a small incident which reveal a lot of things. Another time, I said, Swamiji, we know your avatar. And we are so happy that avatar is with us. But Swami, I don't know how to make best use of avatar. What had happened, Swami gave us interview, few others also. He was distributing vibhuti packets after the interview, individually attending to them. And then I was quite new. Swami himself was carrying the bag of vibhuti packets. After the interview, he used to give few packets to each interviewees. Then during that process, it came to my mind. And then I said, Swami, can I ask one question? This question I put. He was quiet. He stared at me as if I'm letting out his divine secrets. Then I said, Swamiji, I want to know from avatar's mouth how to make best use of avatar. If you give the answer, whosoever listens, not only we all here in the interview room, all those who listen will be benefited. Still no answer. Swami continued distributing vibhuti packets to each of the participants. Then my turn came. A big bunch of vibhuti packets. I opened my both hands. So much with a force that vibhuti from the corners of vibhuti packets was flashing out. There, he gave 2 sentences. He said, love. Love is God. God is love. Live in love. 1 sentence. Second sentence, aham karam. Aham. Aham, I, Atma, is one. Akar, the form. When different forms are attached to this aham, it becomes ahamkaram. The unity or one becomes multiple. Frankly, love is God, God is love, live in love. It's okay. But to my understanding, that also was not correct. I will share with you. But ahamkaram, I didn't know. About the love aspect, another interview with a group of MBA students and few teachers were permitted. He was asking students that, what is love? Can you define love? Because he had given the definition of leadership. Leadership, L-E-A-D-E-R. L starts love, he said. Life, love, listening. Anyway, that is a second or different interaction. So love, he expanded love. He drew, he didn't have any chart paper which I was asking, but the Lord says that when I didn't ask for the chart paper, what do you want? So I'm repeating what Bhagawan, what I observed him. He drew a triangle in the air. I hope you understand. 3 corners. He said, in the center, love, divine love. Not the love which we loosely understand. It's mostly is a lip service. Hi darling, hi sweetheart, this, that. It's just to say. But he said divine love has 3 dimensions, 3 apex, 3 corners. 1, it is, he said, my love is selfless, unconditional. It only gives and gives and gives. I never extend hand to take it back anything from anyone. And it is unconditional. Very fact we are here today, is his unconditional love. Otherwise, why should we be together? Why should we have institutions? The hospitals, ashram, so many facilities, water projects. All these are manifestation of his selfless love. Second dimension, he said, divine love is changeless. It doesn't depend upon your position, time, you are very high in the organization or low in the society. It is changeless. And the third dimension, he said, see, selflessness, changelessness, and fearless. Now, I will give some examples of those two. First dimension, I think all of us, we know that he has been throughout life, he has given and given and given. On that aspect also, some other point, if it comes out, I'll share. I will give an example of a changeless love. One student, he was chosen to be Swami's room boy, and he used to be with Swami before even I joined, 86, that was in 70s, early 70s, or maybe even 60s. Then, after a number of years, he served Swami. Some thought wave came in his mind. He wanted to get married. And Swami understood he's Antaryami. Swami permitted him to go, and he got married. He never came back to ashram to meet Swami. But after I joined, it was in early 90s, one boy came and he was telling volunteers, at that time there were no very strict control discipline of Sevadal and all, some few permanent volunteers. So he came and approached them that please allow me to sit very close to where Swami takes the round. They said, no, who are you? I have been a student here and I have served Swami. Because in his gap of 20 years, things had changed. But one volunteer, he said, oh yeah, this boy, what he's telling is right. So he made him sit. Some of you definitely would have seen Swami's darshan. He used to come out either from Yajur Mandir or earlier than that, interview room, we'll go to the ladies' side, and there's a Ganesha, the center. Then he would go to the gents' side and take a round, exactly where the one you have now read out 108 names of Bhagawan. The students, out of a joke or fun, they used to also add one more, 109. Pillar Priyaya Namaha. Particular pillar, Swami would come and there used to be a pillar. Definitely Swami takes round and then he, definitely, without fail. So that volunteer made boy sit here. That definitely you will have interaction with Bhagawan. Swamiji came, he got up on his knees. Before he could say anything, Swami called out his first name, Mr. So-and-so, not Mr. So-and-so, oh, you have come. Then he was surprised. Swami, you remember. I thought you would have forgotten me. Swami told him, that is your imagination. I never forget. My love is always constant. Then Swami asked him, how's your mother? Then boy said, Swami, last year my father passed away. Swami said, did I ask you about your father? I know. Therefore I asked you about your mother. Then again, another question. Swami said that, how's your daughter? He cried and cried. We literally saw Swami's robe getting wet with his tears. Then Swami told him, see, you went away from here. You got married. You never invited me. Your father passed away. You never came and told me. You got a daughter. You never came and shared that with me. Your daughter, you asked your wife, who gave name to your daughter? I went and told your wife in the dream that keep this name. Go and verify. He had no answer. He was speechless. Just only expression was the tears. Then it stuck to me that, what Swami says, one of the dimensions of pure love, divine love, is changeless. His love doesn't depend upon how physically we are close to him. We are in a position, we have a lot of money or power. It's same. A small example of fearless love. Please don't take it in any other way. Once in Kodaikanal, Swamiji invited some VIPs, big dignitaries, in the evening function. And among them, one was the Chief Minister's daughter. And Chief Minister's daughter had brought a small boy, 3-4 years old boy. Children are children. So he was making a lot of noise. Swami signaled the boy. He didn't. And the boy was making more noise, making his wife difficult to sit there. Then Swami told him, go. When she went away with her son, then Swami said, I am not scared of any person, any position. They should know that so many people are getting disturbed. And because I love them, I can tell them that I want to correct them. It's love which is correcting them. So Swami's love is selfless, that's unconditional, changeless, and fearless. On fearless, I'll give another easy example. In my school days, there was a teacher, science teacher, very dedicated. He used to really give us a lot of, beyond even the school hours. He had made me in charge of a laboratory in 11th class, chemistry laboratory. Then he had lost his wife in kerosene stove, a young guy in 30s. So one day it so happened that I was, because monitor sitting in the front bench, as he came in the class and started fully absorbed in the input he wanted to give. But boys were looking at him and giggling. Then I saw that what is happening. Then I observed, what are they looking at? I understood. I got up and told, sir, can I go out? Meaning as if I'm going to go to washroom. He said, oh, why are you seeking my permission? Go. Because I used to be one who used to keep the record of who wants to go or who doesn't want to go, give them a metallic slip when they go out to identify that, yes, he has taken permission from in the class to come out during the period, during the class session. So I came out. He thought that I'm going there. I stood outside the door and trying to signal, sir. Then finally he looked at me. He said, what? I said, sir, please, come. He left, and in the classroom, whatever he was teaching, chalk, and he came out. I took him outside the wall so that nobody else can see what is happening. I told him, sir, please, make your zip tight. Because in a hurry, he came, he would have used washroom because he was too much involved that what he has to teach. So he was so touched. Other boys were just giggling, laughing. Because I loved my teacher, I said, no, I don't want he to be the source of laughter. So pure love will cross any boundaries. I'll give you another example. In our staff quarters, there came a couple in physics department. I don't know whether anybody from physics department, Dr. Kohli, many years back, must be more than 30 years back. Dr. Kohli came from US and joined our institute. And he had a wife and a small boy, few months. Staff quarter used to be very quiet in the night. One night, right from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I heard the cry of a child. So I didn't know what to do. Till 1 o'clock in the night, the child was not comfortable. Then I went. It was definitely not from the ground floor because we stay in the ground floor. First floor, every place I went and saw that where this crying of child is coming from. First floor, nothing. I went to the second floor. One house, yes. Then I knocked the door. Mind you, at 1 o'clock in the night, knocked the door. Lady opened the door. She was surprised. She was in her nightgown. And before she could say anything, I said, is child crying here? She said, yeah, she also started crying. We have been struggling and he has fever for the last 2-3 days and we have been giving the medicine. What are you giving? Medicine. Mind you, it's none of my business. But the question is just a pure love, nothing else. So she said, ampicillin and this and that. And how many times? Every half an hour I'm giving, but he's still not keeping quiet. Are you a fool? This medicine not to be given every half an hour. Who told you? No, I thought that more I give medicine, better it will be for him. I didn't tell her much. She was MSc herself in biosciences. And her husband, doctorate in physics. They didn't know how to take care of child. Unfortunately, spontaneously, it came out from my mouth that if you do not know how to take care of children, why do you produce children? Like that, can you believe? Unknown person going and slapping. So I said, wait. I went down, prepared homeopathy medicine, went to that house, told her that few pills, put it in spoon and put it in his mouth. She did it. Then after half an hour, the crying stopped. I was in my house. Then the next day morning, I went to college. And what happened, that lady got frightened. But child did not get up in the morning, usual time. Child got up around 9:30, 10. In the meantime, I had gone to college. She came and inquired with my wife that where is your husband? What has given
what he has given to my child, he's not getting up, is he? Relax, madam. Then after some time, my wife told her that the child must be disturbed, now he's getting peaceful sleep. 12 o'clock I came back for lunch from the college, and she was very happy with the child. Then my wife told me that this is what has happened. I thought, I don't care whether they talk to me or not, but I couldn't bear agony of a child crying. And I thought they will never say, even greet me inside out. But they became our best friends. Now you see, the love, intention, motive is pure, selfless. The form in which love is given doesn't matter. It was my anger. Probably it was needed for them. But they took it in the right spirit. So this is what Swami said, the divine love. Love. Love is God, God is love, live in love, start the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. Another question somebody asked Swami, Swami, how do we reach you? He said, I am Prema Sarupa. You can reach me only with love. That is selfless, divine love, no other love. So, that was now Ahankaram, that is a big story. Let me see, before that, some other points which I have noted down. While I was coming to this place, Singapore, a thought came to me. I'll share that thought also before I proceed further. That Singapore is such a nice place, therefore I wanted a chart to write Singapore. What is Singapore? Sing, then A-P-R-O-R-E, sorry. Sing always the praises of the realized entity. What is needed is Namasuran here. We are too much absorbed, soaked in materialism here. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I'm not against that. But we have to charge ourselves with the glory of Lord. I don't say only Sathya Sai Baba, any realized entity. Anyway, so then another one or two stories. Morning I shared with the group in the morning that somebody asked me, how did I come to Swami? It was 1982. I will give the short ones so that more points can be covered. And later on, if there is any question, we can entertain depending upon the time available. I don't see a clock around. Doesn't matter. Maybe.
Plenty of time.
Huh?
Plenty of time.
Yeah, I know. But each episode I should not take unduly long time. Well, 1982, my daughter was not well. Before that, we had gone to Tirupati for shaving her head, as had my mother had told me, and I had promised my mother whatever she says I do. Then, having gone there, Tirupati, my wife told me, few hours away, let's go to Puttaparthi. First time I came to Puttaparthi in 1982. And at that time there was not very strict discipline of volunteers, and few volunteers were there who would walk with Swami to take the letters. Swamiji finished darshan, lady side, came and stood at the center where Ganesha round. And I was watching, something was happening in me. I got up from the fourth row, the men's side darshan ground, And like a prince, I went close to Swami, put my head at Swami's lotus feet, and I was transported to a different world. I didn't know where I am. Now, with that so much conviction that divine vibrations pass through my inner being, I felt certainly it has to be divinity, nothing else. So much conviction. I mean, I don't know how much time it was. Somebody patted me at the back, and I got up, went back, sat at my seat with a full conviction. He is God. Nobody can change my opinion now, because first-hand experience. I have never had such experience touching anybody's feet. As per my father's instruction, when he said his saints, he used to invite them, or he used to take us there and force me to, I am using the word force me to touch their feet. I used to touch just to please my father. But I never got this type of some unexpressible, I can't express in words that what happened within me. So that was in 1982, firm conviction. After that, I knew that Swami is God. So whatever he says is for our good. In late 80s, once I asked Swami in Vrindavan, Swami, so many boys are coming, new boys, without having background of Swami's interactions or their parents, nobody may be devotee. Swami, how do I convince them that you are Avatar, you are God? Then Swami listened to me, very casually told me, hey, you keep quiet. What were you when you were young? In the morning I told them that I never used to please. Even the first darshan, when he came, I said, oh, people are talking Bhagawan, Shri Sathya Sai. ये तो निगरो लगता है, इतना है, dark skin and क्या Bhagawan. Everybody in India adds title of Bhagawan. That was my starting point. So he reminded me, what were you when you were young? But Swami, they will miss the bus. They will not know. I want to come to Puttaparthi. I said, you don't need my address, my reference. Come directly. They will receive you and give you accommodation. Observe yourself. He said, I'm sorry, sir. So, when we have conviction about Swami, then we don't need anybody else. You will be able to need not convince him. If he agrees, well and good. There are certain people who are bent upon criticizing. And moment you come to know, the best thing you can do is, okay, your understanding, you keep it with yourself. My understanding, he is not God for you, he is God for me. So let us agree to disagree. Go on. You face the karma in life. Therefore, no point in telling that this fellow is doing that. You set an ideal example. Then he will take care of the rest. Now I come to some Pune Chandra session. Once it so happened, it was in early 90s. Swamiji used to give us the Pune Chandra sessions in month of October. What used to happen, sometime October, November, Diwali time, around this time as it is, there would be holidays. Actually from today is 19th. Today onwards, boys have holiday. That's how I'm here. And many times boys, when Swamiji physically was present, many times boys will not go home. They would stay there to enjoy Swami more and relaxed manner, because no more pressure of subjects, classes, this, that. So those who, Swami used to force them, no, you go, your parents, you go and meet parents and come back. No, Swami, you are our father, mother. But out of love for Swami,
they would avoid going to this 2-3 weeks holiday. Swami used to reward them by giving darshans, interviews, interactions. So one such session, Swami used to call all the boys and teachers, those who were there at that moment, in Purnachandra session. Purnachandra. And only students and teacher, like a big interview room, and he would interact. So Swamiji was seated on the chair, and he looked around, went and gave darshan. He came to me, and Swami had made me give a little bit narration of my experiences before coming to Puttaparthi and during stay in Puttaparthi all along so far. And Swami used to tell me that, wo batao, ye batao. Anyway, so I don't know what happened that day. Swamiji told me, thoda boys ko advice de sakta hai. Can you give advice? Regarding what, Swami? No, about whatever comes to mind. That means this was the thing. Actually, I may not tell much about that now. There were a few boys spreading wrong thing about Swami in the hostel. Then Swami had told me that viral infection hai, thoda homopathy de sakta hai. Not homeopathy, homopathy, homopathy. So I used to catch. So in that connection, Swami said, thoda boys ko advice de sakta hai. Can you advise boys? I hope anyone has a problem, little few words of Hindi, then every word I will translate. Otherwise I can take a liberty, because that flavor of interaction, it gives me joy. Hindi. Swami used to talk to me mostly in Hindi and English, but mind you, Swami knows all the languages. I'll come to that also. So, advice de sakta hai. Swami, how much time? Thoda. I got up like this. Swamiji's chair was there. I'm standing in front and just started full blast, Josh. Boys, you think that he's 5 feet 3 inch human being? Wake up! He's God, he's Avatar. Don't get deluded. I am telling from my own experience. So like that. Swami said, little bit, 10 minutes so. I completed 10 minutes. I said, Swami, bas. Because we all used to be gathered to get the the discourse from Swami and interactions. So I spoke 10 minutes. I said, now, Swami, please. Bas, Swami, meaning is enough, Swami. Because you said that give advice. Spontaneously came and gave them a nice slap of words. So Swami said, nahi, thoda aur bolo. You said that from experience you are telling. Yes, Swami. Thoda experiences batao. So, experience London. He himself would say, London ka experience batao, Holland ka experience batao, ye batao. So, went on and on. 1 hour, 10 minutes. People sitting back, they tell you, Arey, tum time dekho. We have come here to listen to Swami, not to you, man. So, I got the signal. Oh my gosh. And there's a very big clock in Purnachandra. So I saw, 1 hour, 20 minutes over. And that time, Swami used to call us before afternoon darshan. And it was unheard of Swami coming late for darshan. So this was already too late. Swami would call us around 1:32 and before 3 o'clock, it's supposed to be over. But it was already 3 o'clock. Then I stopped and very prayerful thoughts. Swami, please, after this, you speak to us. Otherwise, I'll have to face a lot of music from my colleagues and students. So it touched very unique style. Swami got up, put his gown down, and mic was brought closer to Bhagawan, and he started the discourse. I said, oh, thank you, Swami. He spoke another 1 hour. Everybody was so absorbed in it, nobody came to know about the time. And then in that discourse, Swami several times referred the incidents or what I was telling, the conviction, with conviction, that Professor Bhagia says this, he's telling from experience. I said, Swami ji, kyun aisa mere ko hawa mein ura rahe ho? You had given the experience, but Swami wants some, physical evidence. So he did that, and then he witnessed, he understood, at least I got the feeling that what would my colleagues and other students think that he is highlighting and himself, and Swami is also supporting him. His protection. Then Swami said, don't think that only Bhagia is getting the experiences. All over the world, thousands of people, thousands of experiences every day they are getting. And he said, don't think the Bhagia did not have he has not committed mistakes or he doesn't have sins. He also had accumulated mountain full of sins. Because he surrendered to me, I converted those mountain full of sins into heaps of cotton, and with one spark, I burned them off. What a revelation. On that, one other point comes to my mind. Sorry, there will not be any sequence, but whatever spontaneously Lord makes me talk about, whatever I've written points I have not yet covered. Swami used to, for prasadam distribution, Swami used to pick up few boys. As prasadam used to be in vessels kept inside the interview room. And he will ask 4 to 6 boys, depending upon the crowd and what item is to be distributed. He would tell them, go. They will bring out vessels and go on distributing. After the prasadam distribution, Swami would, they would wait inside the interview room. Swami would go inside. With his own hands, he used to give prasadam to those boys, prasadam distribution boys. And that used to be attraction. Hey, today, I hope, Swami, you choose me to be one of the prasadam distribution boys. So, and not only that, they used to get mini interview. Boys will carry their letter, Swami, my mother, Swami, this, and Swami will respond. Swami will create vibhuti, or at least give packets of vibhuti to each one of them, and namaskar before they come out of the interview room. Very nice opportunity. One day I saw 5 boys were called in. 4 boys. Swami was ushering them in the door, the threshold of his interview room, one by one, taking namaskar and going. One boy, he didn't want to come out from the interview room. Then Swami said, what? Swami, I want to talk to you. What? Swami. So Swami went inside with him, closed the interview room, and boys have been very frank, like Sri Ram and boys, his students, they have been very open with me. And the boy came, told me a whole thing what happened. That's how I know I'm able to share with you. This boy said, Swami, I have committed a lot of errors, sins in my life. I'm ashamed. I don't know what to do, Swami. Swami told very casually, Chhod do, past is past. Start a fresh life now. He said, Swami, past is past. Clear. He said, yes, your slate is clear. From now onwards, you start a new life. Swami, whatever I've done, you've forgiven me. He said, yes. Now, you be a good boy. Then he said, Swami, you can clear all our sins like this in a split second. Yes. Accepting one sin. Swami, what is that sin? Swami said, when I give you the instruction directly, do this or don't do this. If you do not obey me, the consequences, the punishment of that sin, nobody can help you. You have to go through it. My gosh, It's not an ordinary interaction. Mind you, one has to go through it. Knowingly, if I know, I have accepted him, that he is avatar. If I do anything against what he has given the instruction, guideline, I am inviting big problem for me. Let me tell you another thing. Okay, I can, shall I tell her, we can discuss that tomorrow. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. Otherwise, many points will not get covered. Yeah, another Pune Chandra session in 1994. It was stated in the books. Many predictions were done, Nostradamus and all, so many, that 1994 there will be doom, there will be all pralaya. And I remember V.K. Narasimhan, he took that book and showed it to Swami. Swami, what are they writing? That everything will be covered with water, whole, 3/4 of the earth. And majority of the population will be erased from surface. Then Swami told him, this much buddhi don't have. Will I ever allow this to happen? Then what for have I come? Don't you have this much faith in me? So that means he is there to control. Now, my observation is, this is purely my observation. Swami was getting thinner and thinner body. I would say at least 10 kg or so, or maybe 8 kg he lost body weight. And they were telling, no, Swami is not eating this, that. My understanding was, each one of us, we are cells of his body. So instead of destruction taking place, he allowed that cells from his body to be destroyed. It was very thin. During that period, one Pune Chandra session, interaction with Bhagawan, he called us, he gave a little discourse that also I will narrate, but let me come to this point first. He was giving darshan, and senior professors were taking liberty with Bhagawan. Swami allows them like a friends. And I told in the morning also, we teachers and some students, we used to make fun of this loving association of Bhagawan with his devotees. That, oh, OBA is going on. That old boys association. They were also very senior, the devotees. And Swami, so see how they are narrating as classmate, as the friend, old friend. So one senior professor took liberty and told Swami, you have become very thin, Swami, you are not eating properly. What is this, Swami? We can't see, we feel like crying. He said, hey, selfish man. No, Swami, you please stop it, and selfish man. Because there, my understanding was further confirmed that he is saving the world. You are telling, no, Swami, I don't want to see you thin, so don't allow this to happen. Means, I am selfish, I don't want to see Swami, it pains me. And what about what Swami is doing selflessly? So, and then another senior devotee, professor, he said, no, Swami nowadays he doesn't eat food. Actually, he doesn't need food. He's taking sustenance directly from 5 elements. Moment he said that, Swami looked at him, he said, hey, 5 sustenance take, the 5 elements take sustenance from me. I don't take sustenance from 5 elements. That means they are all in my hand. Then, okay, usko bitha diya. Then Swami came in. Bhagia, what do you feel? They are telling me that I have become thin. I said, no, Swami. Kya? Have I become fat? No, Swami. Then, Swami, you are constant. Good boy. Then he went, hey, I'm not only constant, I'm constant integrated awareness. Wow. What a revelation! Who can say that 5 elements take sustenance from me? I'm constant integrated awareness. So, like that, we have to be ready. He gives nuggets, and straight it should go in your heart. This was on that day, the constant integrated awareness. Then, in the discourse, Swami narrated few things. He was telling, see, when you pray to me, when you surrender to me, I take care of you. Then he gave examples of Draupadi, then Sita Mata, Sakubai, Prahlad. See my devotees. Then he narrated in detail. One of them I can share with you what he said. He said, see, Draupadi, Bhishma Pitama, he took a vow during the war that next day morning I'll finish all the Pandavas. And he had so much power in his words, whatever he said had to come true. So, and Draupadi cried to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna appeared, said, why are you crying? Today is the only day, yes, I have husbands. Tomorrow onwards, you know what he has said, Bhishma has said. Because we cry to him, Lord will find the way out, solution to every problem. He said to her, do what I tell you. Don't question me. Okay, Lord. Evening time, there were rules and regulations of war also. Then Lord Krishna took Draupadi to Bhishma's tent, and it was a little dark. And he said, you go inside, go cover yourself, go and fall at his feet, Bhishma's feet. But hey, remove your chappals, slipper, sandals. Swami said, Krishna took under his arm, because her sandals would make peculiar sound. So did that, and now you go. She went, and moment she touched his feet, he was taken aback. Then he said, oh, Draupadi! Before even she showed her face, elder people, Sumangli, Sada Swagindro, Ye Karo. Then he said that. And she showed, you are telling me Sada Swagan, Sumangli. And you are taken, meaning you are taken vow that tomorrow I'll be, I'm sorry, there's what you call, with a widow. Then before he could say something, Krishna, Nattakat Krishna, he walks in. Bhishma looks at Krishna, oh Krishna, this is your plan. Then I asked Swami, what happened? Because Bhishma was supposed, whatever he says, it has to come true. His purity was so much. And once he has said, we know the story, it didn't happen. Why? How? Swami said, seeing Krishna, he bowed down. Oh Lord, this is your master plan, so be it. You have changed the master plan, meaning master plan first was that the Pandavas will not be there, but now you have changed it, so be it. Then Swami told me that Bhishma took his words back. I said, oh Swami. Then after the discourse, there were eatables, and because it was afternoon time, all the tea and snacks to be served in the hostel were brought here. And because I had some digestion problem, I was not eating. I was focusing at Swami. Then I asked Swami, can I ask one question? He said, yes. I said, Swamiji, you said that, look, when the devotee surrenders to me, even for sake of one devotee, I changed my master plan. He said, yes, dekho, I told you these stories. I said, yes, Swami, I'm not denying that. Now, here is a question, Swami. You said that for sake of one devotee, you changed the master plan. Yes. Swamiji, is it also not part of your master plan to have such a devotee at that time who would ask against your master plan? Then in Hindi, he gave me answer, "Wo bhi mera nirnay hai." That is also my decision. I said, Swami, where is the choice then? It's all drama. So, senior professors sitting there, they couldn't digest this. One, I don't know to name, you know him very well. He's Swami, in a very typical style. He translated my question in Telugu, and Swami gave the answer in Telugu. Then I was asking him, "Arey bhai, tell me, what did Swami say?" He said, "Swami told the same thing what he told you." So, now, then what is our role? Our role is to pray to him. When we are praying to him, load is off from our head. We surrender. It's not necessary that it has to be favorable to me. What I am asking, what I am expecting. Let anything happen. I accept his will. That is surrender. And then he will take care. Many times, things may appear unfavorable to us at that moment. But later on, when you look back, oh, that was the best thing could happen in my life. Many times. Okay, that was another revelation. I'll give another one. It was again, all the things are coming during October period, October various years. 1 year, October time, Dasara time. Pandits were chanting. Swami had called them from different places. And Swami was praising them that your pronunciation, that ucharan, pronunciation, very, very good, correct in Sanskrit. Swami took them for interview. As soon as he came out, because he had given me an opportunity to have like a friendship relationship, many times he will reveal himself what he told in the interview room. So he came, he said, "Bhagia, dekho, aaj wo pandit aaya tha, sab pandits ko bulaya." Then one young pandit, I was distributing the dhotis and whatever they wear, and a young pandit, I know it, his name, and I told him that, "Would you wear dhoti or shall I give you safari suit, cloth?" So he asked for safari. Dekho. Then I told him, "What is this? You are supposed to be having some 3 or 4, pattu, kattu, I don't know, in Telugu. That means you should have a long hair, you should have a dhoti, then these are the meaning. I don't know the words. Swami told me in Telugu, but I don't recall. If I ask my wife, she will tell me, but okay, doesn't matter, you understand." Then, and I straightened him. Don't change because I'm offering, don't say, yes, I need. And another one, I told them that you have a nice ucharan, the pronunciation. You should have a good acharan. You should practice also what you are chanting. And I know one person, he has He is not what he appears. You know what I did? I said, Swami, no, I don't know. I materialized watch for him and put it on his wrist and told him, hey, this watch doesn't need any battery, nothing. It will run as long as you follow my instructions, it will work. Moment you deviate from that, it will stop. So this is the way I have to teach them. He was sharing that. But okay, it was not only for them, for all of us. Swami, what he does, nobody can understand. There is a purpose. Even if it appears to be unfavorable, please hold on. It will be wonderful for us. Then in 1994 again, in Tri session, a very lighter one I'll share. It was exactly 7th of June 1994. And Swami called Italian group for interview. Fortunately, out of his mercy, grace on us, he called our family also. Me, my wife and daughter. And another very special dignitary, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He had come with a group of 4 or 5 people were there. He was at that time only MP. He was also called. Maybe he had some problem in the politics or something. Many politicians, they used to come to Bhagawan and ask for boons. So maybe, I don't know what intention he had come. So Swami first paid attention to the Italian group. Swami started talking to them in Italian language. Very fluent. Not just 1 or 2 word or a sentence to make them happy. How are you? No. Good 8-10 minutes he interacted with them. And what he interacted, I came to know through one person who knew English in the group. Later on, because we were also part of the interview, so I asked him, what was Swami talking to you in your language? Swami was telling them that, see, you come on eve of 70th birthday and you brought the 70 chairs, wheelchairs to be donated in the ashram. Why did you buy from Italy and spend transportation costs? You could have purchased here in India. So, who told you to do this? Then one person said that our guru told. Swami said, hey, if you follow many gurus, real guru will go away. Be careful. So all these things in Italian language, Swami was interacting. Then suddenly, Swami asked Vajpayee, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Vajpayee, tumko malum kaun sa bhasha hum bola? What language did I speak, Vajpayee? No, Swami. Dekho, they have come from Italy. Nobody, excepting one, nobody knows English. So, what can I do? I have to speak to them now. You know Italian? Nahi, Swami. Then Swami declares, God knows all languages, sir. I have experienced directly. Swami can speak any Indian language though, any part of India. But Italian, Russian, German, then one small place, country. Anyway, so those, I used to wonder. Swami will ask them, they will cry. Now, if it is just, if he has mucked up few sentences to please somebody, it cannot be you make somebody cry and give the answer and materialize Vibhuti. It cannot be. It has to be proper communication. And that too in words. So, my direct first-hand experience is, Swami knows all the languages. Because he says, language of the heart, heart to heart. But even the words, he will speak, the person who is able to understand. With me also, he has spoken. Even in English, when he speaks, initially, I saw that when he speaks many words, I did not know even the spelling. just noted down on a piece of paper in the interview, came out and searched in the dictionary what the word is. So powerful words. And in my mother tongue, so many places, okay, that is only on a language, but the sense is that Swami knows all the languages. Then now the one more interaction which is interesting. Swami turned his focus to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Kya Vajpayee, kya samachar hai, what is the news? Then in his unique style, he tells, Swami ji, Bharat ka tabahi ho gaya. In 94, mind you. तो क्या करना चाहिए? He knows everything. He is a controller, but we feel that we can do something. But look at his sincerity. He came to Bhagawan to seek guidance. Swami ji, आपको एक विनती है. बोलो, बोलो. I'm ready. बोलो. Swami ji, you give students. They should become the chief minister of various states. Swami laughed. He said, no. Still time has not yet come. Not now. So then he said, Swamiji, ek aur vinati hai, one more prayer. He said, what? Swamiji, you become the prime minister of the country. Swami laughed. Such a nice laughter. Very rarely you see how Swami laughs. His tummy was, shaking. Then very profound statement Swami made. Vajpayee, I am the kingmaker. I don't want to be king. You want to become king? I'll make you. Within 18 days, he was made prime minister. And again, there was no confidence motion. Swami told us in the interview room, wait, he's coming for the full term of 5 years. He came. That term was over. Swami said, no, he's coming for one more term. Who can tell, excepting the kingmaker, that yes, I've decided to make him king. See, I can make him. So these are the revelations Bhagawan, he gives, and we have to capture. Then, one beautiful thing, I think I will keep somebody's watch here, or no, doesn't matter. A lot of time, okay. Because I don't carry a watch. About the watch, remember, when he gave a watch to this Pandit, he told him what is the spelling of watch, W-A-T-C-H. Then he said, watch your words, watch your action, watch your thoughts, watch your character, watch your heart. If you deviate from here, this will stop. So the threat also Swami gave. Now, there was one more nice interaction with Bhagawan in Tri Vrindavan. I was given an opportunity while performing my duty to be with the students for taking them to various companies for industrial project for MBA students between first year and second year. That used to be the project. 6 to 8 weeks they will work in industries as practical experience. So he had made me in charge of that. One such day, some boys, they wanted money. They were told that whatever money you bring from your home, deposit in the bank, and whenever you need, whosoever is in charge teacher pointing to me, then I will withdraw money and give it to you. Those days, the transport was very poor in Vrindavan, and all the projects were in the city, Bangalore city. So the boys used to leave, along with the boys, I used to be with them, 5:30 in the morning. One passenger train reached the Bangalore city station. Then from there, respective companies, they used to go and carry out their projects. And my duty was to go from one company to another. Some company there will be 2 boys, 3 boys, 1 boy. So I used to visit every company. Quite a tough job those days, no transport Even auto rickshaw may not go in some places. Buses, out of question. But still, I used to manage and come back in the evening. One day, and Swami used to keep a track of what is happening. He is Antaryami. In the evening when we come back from the industries, in the try session, he would ask each boy, which company did you go? They will tell, what did you wasted your time. Swami, but whole day they told me to do this. I know. Then Swami tells me, what you are sending the boys over there, they are wasting their time. Why Swami was upset? They work hard, and Swami said, these managers, they will never give you any secrets of company, how to operate the company. And by the time they come here, they are so tired, they are dozing. They are not even listening to Bhagawan's discourse or interactions. I used to tell boys, summer project is a pretext. Exclusively MBA students and few teachers, we have interactions with Bhagawan during that holiday period. And I coined a word also to make them understand, summer project is somehow project. Somehow you finish. Not summer project, somehow project. I used to tell men, take it as a somehow project. Not summer, somehow. But main project is to have interactions with Bhagawan. So, Swami is telling me that, see, boys are coming tired and all. I had no choice. Now, Sunday was coming Sunday, meaning few days were there. They were praying to Bhagawan. Swami, please talk to us, Swami. We are getting free day. And nobody need to go to industry and so forth. Swami won't listen to them. And they shout, Swami, please, Swami, please, Swami. He will, put his hair near the ear as if he's not listening. Then you go on shouting. Then you look at me, what are they telling? Swami, they are requesting you, please, Swami, please. He said, they should please Swami first. Then he would reflect, please, Swami. Bhagia, let them finish the project. Let them go home. I have nothing to do. No, Swami, please. They have come. The boys will support me. Naturally, I am supporting them. They will support. No, Swami, no, we don't want to go back. No, Swami, no. Again, Swami. No, Swami. K-N-O-W. You should know what Swami is. So, he is Antaryami. He used to tell many things. One such, I won't call it the unfortunate. Initially, there was little irritation in my mind. Some boys, good 8-10 boys, they said, sir, our money is over. And we want money from the bank. And every day morning, 5:30 we are leaving. Banks open around 10:30. And we have to withdraw money. I said, what do I do? Sir, if you withdraw money and keep it for ourselves, for us, you come late. Swami will not question. But we have to go to report to our factories. I said, okay. Took the checks. That day, I didn't go in the morning along with them. I withdrew the money. By that time, it was already lunchtime, but still, no laziness. Swami doesn't like laziness. On laziness, Swami, one small interaction, boys write handwriting, very tiny words are not clear, and give the letters to Swami. Swami will take it and he will read it. Then Swami said, Dekho, tumhara students, ye kya? Then he would say, how they are writing? I am not lazy, sir, that they are giving me more work to read carefully. I have nothing to say in between. Then Swami said, I told in support of his students, Swami, at this stage, they can't change their handwriting. Hey, don't be lazy. Swami, they are in college. College, that means no laziness. So he twisted the word and he said, no, I don't accept. So Swami doesn't accept any laziness. So in spite of, I finished the job, I went to see where the boys, every day I used to visit almost all the factories, 8-10 factories in a day where the boys were placed. summer placement. Then I could go on that day only Karnataka Chamber of Commerce. So came back in the evening. That evening only, he is Antarami. He can pull our threads, pull our legs. He said, Bhagia, what are the companies you visited today? In my mind, I said, Are yaar, you know, I have not visited and you are catching me on that day. That what companies did you visit? I said, Swamiji, I visited only Chamber of Commerce today. Why? Again, in my mind, tu mere ko expose kar raha hai. Then I said, Swamiji, some boys they wanted to withdraw money from the bank and they gave me the checks. I got the money from the bank. Oh, you got the money just like that, giving checks? No, Swami, they had bank balance. They have money put in the bank. Acha, how many ways you can get money from the bank? Now, innocent, he is asking me, how many ways? He has never gone himself to withdraw money from the bank, so he's asking me as if. Then before I could give the answer, he said, Dekho, there are 3 ways. Because I was reluctant. You know everything, you are asking me. So I kept quiet. He himself gave the answer. There are 3 ways to get money from the bank, withdraw money from the bank. Then I'm asking, Swami, what are those ways? See, if you have a current account or saving bank account, that means you put money. Against that, you give a check, you get the money. Yes, Swami. Second method, if you have some fixed deposits or you mortgage your property or something, against that you give a check or even bank can give you the money. Swami, what is third way? Third way is, even if they don't have current or saving account, they don't have fixed deposits, but somebody recommends, somebody, what you call the vouch or assurity. So third way, they can get. See, these boys, they keep telling, Swami, please, I am a spiritual bank manager. These boys, have they done anything good now? Or in the past? So they have no current account, no saving account, they have not saved anything. How can I give them? I was quiet. The second method, that they should have fixed deposits, or he said in previous births, they have not done anything. How can I give them? We are asking for, Swami, please, interaction, please call us for interview. So, wo bhi gaya. And third one, any one of you, teachers, their parents, will they take guarantee about them? That if I give them, they will return? Who can say yes? When he is questioning. On that there is another story I will tell later on. So, I kept quiet, but out of love for the students, I was thinking, I said, Swami, there is a fourth method to withdraw money get money from the bank. He said, kaun sa, bolo. Swami, bank manager can give overdraft. Then Swami gave me a nice one. What? What type of a teacher you are, professor you are? Passing marks are 50%, isn't it? I said, yes, Swami. If a student gets 5%, will you give him 45 marks as a grace mark, overdraft? If the student gets 47, 48, 1 or 2 marks you can give him the grace, that he will go to the next semester, he will be better. No. Aisa nahi hota. So that also, I said, Swami, they are praying to you day in, day out, whatever spare time, their bhajans and their satsangs and please, on Parayan session, they are doing so much puja. He said, all part-time devotion. So, then he said, you have come from factories, isn't it? You have worked in factories. Yes, Swami. How many types of workers you had? I saw me basically two types. One, part-time worker, employees, another full-time employees. He said, what were you giving to the part-time employees? Swami, wages, according to whatever they worked, number of hours per week, and they were given. See. And full-time workers, Swami, employees, they get full salary every month. Then also they get TADA, they get pension. देखो, मैं भी ऐसा है. Part-time devotee, जितना उनका devotion है, दे दो. Full-time devotee, not only he gets the reward, but nearness, dearness allowance. Not TADA, nearness, dearness allowance. And pension, which will be useful for the life hereafter. Always it will help you. I was again quiet. Then my mind, a thought came. I didn't ask, how can I contradict him? And he said, full-time devotion is easier than part-time devotion. In my mind, I was looking with the eyes, non-verbal communication. Very kamal karte ho. Full-time, part-time devotion itself takes away all their spare time. And you said, full-time devotee kaise banega wo? Then he said, see sir, his unique South Indian accent, see sir, I have my own definition of devotion. Full-time devotion, true devotion. I said, Swami, what is that? He said, it's easier. How, Swami? Full-time devotion, maintaining equanimity under all the circumstances, all the time. That is full-time devotion. Nahi, kitna aasan hai? How easy it is. In my mind, I was thinking, tu yaar bada chalak hai. Full-time devotion, physically you don't do anything, sitting, puja or namasmaran, but you just give a little thought. Is it easy to maintain equanimity under all the circumstances, all the times? When can you do? When you have full conviction that He is God. Whatever happens, happens with His will. So, He is very tricky in a way, but that's all for us. What will He gain by deluding us? No. But in my mind, this was the interaction going on, and so the lesson to be learned, you will not get such a thing from the texts, spiritual books. Very rarely, Bhagawan cannot be compared, which I started with. He cannot be compared with anybody. I'm repeatedly telling any person, if they think that is equivalent to him, he is expressing his ignorance. How can anybody equate himself to God, to Avatar? Impossible. I say with awareness, impossible. Let them face the consequences. So, spiritual bank balance, and then another nice interaction. Our MBA started in 1986. We used to invite Bhagawan for MBA Day, anniversary of MBA Day. 5 years later, 1991, when we invited Bhagawan, he said, no, I'm not coming. In fact, we took it for granted that he comes he's a chancellor, so officially he knows, and he used to come. 4 years he did that. 91, he did not come. Then 3-4 senior professors, we went. Morning, everything was ready in the institute. that Bhagawan will come and normally boys will play a skit, then give one or two small speech, and then Bhagawan will give interaction, prasadam. That used to be the way we used to celebrate MBA Day. But he didn't come. So we went, rushed to him, and we were sitting outside the interview room. Swami finished the interviews, came, straight he charged us. Really gave a nice one. He said, see, 5 years are over to MBA. I gave you everything, whatever you wanted. You wanted OHP, the chairs, so many machines, and deviating from the other norms of the university at that time, he sanctioned everything. What have you given me in return? We were quiet. All the time you talk about your subject matters and the management by objective, this object of this is object of this MBA. What about the subject, the student? We had no answer. Then I gathered, because in such situation, you see Swami's face and my gosh, authoritative, and the eyes were so powerful and you can't dare to look at him. You'll be burnt if you're not pure inside. So gather the courage, praying to him only. I said, Swamiji, we don't know what you expect from us. Please tell us so that we put our efforts in that direction. What do you expect from us? He said, I want 3 things to be given to MBA students. Common sense, general knowledge, and human values. You people only talk about profit, this, that. What about these 3 things? If you give, I'm satisfied. And then he has a definition. What is common sense? In one of the interviews, me and Warden, we asked Swami, you say common sense. What is common sense? Is it common sense? Doing right thing at the right time in the right way is common sense. But then Warden Sir asked, Swami, how to get it? By practice. Then he gave a wonderful example that, see, when you learn driving, when you are newcomer, new driver learning, if person sitting next to you, he talks to you, you don't listen to him, you ignore him. And because you are concentrating, once you practice driving, then you can chat with the person sitting by your side or even behind your seat, and you can eat, you can share jokes, because you have practiced. So you know when suddenly something comes, when to apply brake, when to apply accelerator, this and the signboards and the lights. So common sense is practice, practice, practice. And general knowledge is a general knowledge. What do you mean by general knowledge? What is happening in America, what is happening in Russia or Germany, and that is not general, that is even insignificant part of the general knowledge. So where do we stand? Another beautiful example Swami gave about these two. It was 15th of June 1987 when the every year session starts with Swami's discourse. Earlier it used to be in the institute. So on that day, Swami gave this. He elaborated. He said, what you people are only giving knowledge, science, physics, chemistry, management, mathematics, all these are branches of the knowledge. What is the trunk? What is the root of knowledge? I have not started this college just to give one more college giving the knowledge about these courses, subjects. Along with them, the fundamental knowledge, that is Atma Vidya, that is the root of all the knowledge. That should be given. He said, one example he gave, he said in military, army, they have, apart from soldiers, they employ many people. Could be engineers, doctors, barbers, drivers. They need everything to run the army. And they choose the best. If I want to be employed by army as an engineer, if I am very, very good, if I am very good, then only they will employ me. So, he said, once you got the employment, what do they teach you? Two things. General knowledge they give you. What is the knowledge? General to all. Apart from your individual knowledge, they teach you two things. One, march pass. And another one is how to shoot the enemy. Irrespective of what profession for which you have been chosen, you should know these two. This is general for all, whether it's an engineer, a barber, or a sipahi. So similarly, Swami said, I have started an institution to give you, along with other knowledge, general knowledge, roots, that is Atma Vidya. Then another one, common sense. Swami gave a wonderful story. He said there were, in a village, there were two farmer brothers, one senior, junior. Senior brother was made head of the village. And junior brother was farming for the whole family. He got married. His wife is telling him that, see, your brother is the head of the village. And he just sits in his office, fan is on, nice cool breeze. And he talks to some people. You have been toiling from morning till evening. And you work for such a hard life. So she polluted his mind. He went and talked to the brother. The brother, this is not fair. Then he said, why? You don't do anything. I've been working. Brother understood. He said, okay, we'll do one thing. What do you want? Wife had told him. And he said, brother, we'll exchange our roles. He said, by all means, but you get some training first before I hand over to you. So he came, younger brother started attending the office along with the elder brother. Then after a day or so, one farmer came crying that, why are you crying? Today, I lost my mother early morning. Then the senior, the head of the village, he was also moved. He also started crying. He said, you think that you have lost mother? All of us have lost mother. She was mother to every one of us. Such a pious lady. So he was consoled. You can't do anything beyond that. Then younger brother is telling elder brother, now I know what you do. I can manage now. Probably some of you know the story. So then the role was exchanged. Younger brother started attending the office and elder brother to the field. And with him, he encountered one young farmer, comes and crying. He said, what happened? What happened? Today morning, my wife, when she was pulling the water from the well, she fell and she's no more. Then he said, don't worry. You think that your lost wife or the young farmer gave him a slap. Then they went to his elder brother, what type of person you are? Then Swami said, that is general knowledge. The right thing, at the right time, in the right way to be done, that is common sense. So, common sense is not, that's why in English says it is not common, it is very uncommon, common sense. I think I already got the signal. So let me see one more, if I can share. No, I'll complete that point first. So he said that 3 things I want: common sense, general knowledge, and human values. Then came to human values. He said, human values, you people keep on blabbering, Satya Dharma Shanti Prema Ahimsa, Satya Dharma Shanti Prema Ahimsa. You think that the boys will be able to put into practice? Do you know, can you say that this person has the values, human values? So we were quiet. Then he said, the human values is only can be identified whether a person follows human values or not. Unity between thought, word and deed, and control of senses. I may be very big shot boss in the organization. If I say something and I might have thought something in action totally different, very soon I may consider myself very smart, but very soon I will lose all the respect from the employees. Swami said, unity between thought, word and deed is Mahatma. Disharmony between thought, word and deed is Duratma. Run away from such a person. So, that we should teach these students. And the control of senses, he said, nowadays, so easily people given to the senses. And women, wealth, and wine, and along with that, the power of position, and this and that. And that, he had warned me very first day before I went to take a class in November 1986. He said, Bhagia, be careful. Boys are very intelligent. You should speak from your own experience. Don't say something which you have not put into practice. If you do that, even if one boy, any place in the world, he observes you that you have no harmony between what you say and what you have done, you lose all the respect from the boys. Be careful. So that is the way we all elders have to be, teachers. Whatever organization, whatever we are doing, set an ideal example first. If I don't do that, he told me, you have no right to say anything which you are not put into practice. You teach them in such a way that they can't find in textbooks. That should be from your personal implementing out of your experience, putting to action. So, whenever position is given, whenever, whatever we do, be it parents, be it a colleague or a boss in the organization or in the spiritual organization, very, very careful. What I say, do I put into practice? So, I think there were a few more points, but it doesn't matter. One boy, I don't know whether I should share this. He came to me, MBA boy, because I had most of the interaction with MBA boys. He came to me, he had no interest there after 2011, that period. Then I told him that you seem to be a little indifferent, suspicious, and you're not convinced about what is happening here. He said, yes sir, I'm not. Why? He said, some people, they say something in the class and do anything different. So, I had no answer, because I can't take guarantee of anybody. I asked him, do you find it in me? He said, no sir, that's why I have come to talk to you. Then I said, what has happened to you? Why? He says, that's the whole story. That my parents, they had taken me to one guru. It was very good. But as I grew from childhood and now after I was doing engineering, he gave me the duty of attending to him all his needs. And I found something totally different. What he preaches and what happens inside. I'm broken, sir. I'm shaken up. I have no faith. Now, any gurus, and it reminded me, Swami has said that we should not say something and practice another thing. So, on each one of us there's a duty. We consider ourselves to be Swami's devotee. Do we follow Swami's teachings into practice? Do we put it? In fact, I ask on behalf of students, Swami students are telling what gratitude, how do we express our gratitude to you, Swami? You're giving us free education, everything in so much love. So we can't give anything in return, but if you tell us, he said, yes. One thing you give me, set an ideal example. You will earn a good name. See, selflessness there also. You will earn a good name. Your parents will earn a good name. Institute will be highlighted. I don't want anything from you. It's for you. So, keeping these few, I think, teachings in mind, I bring a close to talk now. Again, we have some more opportunities. Let us see if whatever easy for many of you or some of you. And I may ask, can I open for one question? Any one question from the group I would like to answer. A spiritual question, not any personal thing. Personal thing separately we can always discuss. Yes, sir. Can you? Yeah, please. Go ahead. I have never said that Swami told me that he will come back. Please go and watch again. I inferred from certain, I'm not deviating, I still have firm conviction that his avatarhood is not complete. Because a few quickly, which I have said and I'm repeating to substantiate my answer, that for instance, he said here in the third block, students will not be sitting, they will sit far off. I said, Swami, who will sit here? He said, the heads of the country, sages, saints, they will come and sit here. Where it has happened? Again, another thing. He said in 1996, 31st July, go and verify the discourse. He gave a series of 35 discourses or so. On 31st August 1996, he said that even the blind man will know Sai Baba is God. Where it has happened? We have spent so much time with Bhagawan. Do we have firm conviction that he is God? We have all intellect. We are with him. He has given so many things. We deviate. So, something has to happen. What will happen? Where? How? I don't know. I'm waiting for that. Till my death, I will not deviate from this conviction that avatarhood is not complete. It's better to die with that conviction. Because with God, it's an endless hope. Without God, hopeless end. So it's better. Whether during this life of this birth, he will come back, it is up to him. Who can dictate? But inferences from his statement. For instance, one devotee, she was a lady when Swami was a small boy in 20s. She wanted to verify Bhagawan, that whether he is avatar or not. So she came closer, praying to him. Swami took her in his folds and taking her to the Chitravati lane and all. We have heard and seen videos also how he immortalizes any item from anywhere. So this lady, she asked Swami, Swami, how did Krishna leave the body? How did Rama leave the body? I don't know why she was focusing on that. And Swami was giving the answer, Ram Krishna Paramahansa, this, that. Accurate. She was well read. So she verified, yes. How will a small boy know so many things? Then, out of liberty which she or other Swami gave her, she is putting a question, Swami, how will you leave the body? Swami told her, I'll not leave once, I'll leave twice. Where it has happened? This is a drama. So many things have happened. Swami has said that one vice chancellor asked Swami, something happened in the early 90s. And then they were all scared. Swami, this could happen in ashram. We were really shocked. He said, what? I sneeze and your nose goes off. When I cough, what will happen to you? This is nothing. Very severe tests are going to come. Winnowing is going on. The dry leaves will fly off. Only those who have metal inside will continue to remain. No, it's a fact. He has said, not me. It's not my word. His words. I don't know, then it will be extension. Or tomorrow you raise this question again. I'll tell you 4 more stories. Because of time. I have no problem. Tomorrow, sir, let there be some stuff for tomorrow also. I thought it's declaration day. Let us stop now. Thank you very much.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagawan. I'm just here to express our utmost gratitude to Swami first for bringing us all together this evening and to bring amongst us Bhagia Sir all the way from Puttaparthi. While many of us may not have had the opportunity to physically interact with our beloved Swami and get his direct guidance, we have had that happen to us through Bhagia Sir today. My utmost thanks to him. If I can call Auntie Rachana also onto the stage, Brother Vivek and Sister Bhavani to felicitate them. A small token of our gratitude, a very small one, something that you could use.
In fact, I should be grateful. I'm really grateful to all of you to give me an opportunity to relive those moments, those past sweet memories. Where will I get this opportunity? I'm really thankful to you. All the way allowing me to come and look at the Swami's grace and his love. Really, I'm overwhelmed to see all of you, your love for Swami. Otherwise, why should you spend 2 hours, more than 2 hours here? Thank you.
वीर धीर शूर हनुमान की जय। वीर धीर शूर हनुमान की जय। पवन पुत्र आंजनेय हनुमान की जय। पुत्र आंजनेय हनुमान की धीर धीर शूर हनुमान सदा राम नाम जपत हनुमान की जय। सदा राम नाम जपत हनुमान की जय। राम 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 सदा राम नाम जपत हनुमान की जय। सीता शोक नाश कारण हनुमान की पुत्र आंजनेय हनुमान की धीर धीर शूर हनुमान की सदा राम नाम जपत हनुमान की राम 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 Amritam Dhamaya. Om Shri Sai Ram. Satsang with Professor Bhagia will happen in 3 more sessions. Tomorrow, the 20th of October, from 10 to 12 noon at 133 Malman Road. And the same evening at Level 3 DAV Hindi School, Syed Alvi Road, from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And on the 21st of October, from 7:45 to 9:15 p.m. at Sri Shanbaga Vinayagar Temple, Level 2, 27 Ceylon Road. Please do come, and as we all have enjoyed today, there will be many more revelations that we will have of the wonderful message Swami has shared with him, and be in bliss. The Global Akhanda Bhajan, the 24 hours of continuous devotional singing for world peace, will happen at Level 2 Singapore Khalsa Association on Saturday, 9th November, from 4:45 p.m. to Sunday, 10th November, until 6 p.m. The opening prayers commence at 4:45, with bhajans commencing from 6. That's the end of announcements. Jai Sai Ram. Om Tat Sat Shri Narayanatam Purushottama Gurutam Siddha Buddhatam Skanda Vinayaka Savita Pavanatam Savita Pavanatam Rudra Vishnu tum Ram Krishna tum Rahim Tao tum Rahim Tao tum Vasudeva do Vishwarupa tum Chidananda Hari tum Advitiya tum Akala Nirbhaya Atmalinga Shiva tum Atmalinga Shiva tum Atmalinga Shiva tum Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Swami Sathya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Varti Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Shashivagana Shikara Sarva Pranapate Swami Sarva Pranapate Ashrita Kalpanatika Ashrita Kalpanatika Apatanava Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Mata Pita Gurudevam Mariyantayum Neve Swami Mariyantayum Neve Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagendra Shayana Om Jai Jagadisha Hare Omkara Rupa Jasvi Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala
मंगलहारति मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थ इष्टार्थ मोक्ष प्रदानं बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थ इष्टार्थ मोक्ष प्रदानं बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थ इष्टार्थ मोक्ष प्रधानं बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महवे ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्धव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः